Hi, I'm Willie from Design Plus Code, and in this chapter, we will make something amazing. If you want to make a game and don't know where to start, I think you are at the right place. I will teach you how to use Unity, code in C#, and some tips and tricks to make your game. If you don't have any experience in game development, this is not a problem. This Unity course is for beginners. It is a step-by-step course with videos and text. At the end of this course, you will create this game. As you can see, there's multiple scenes, and you will learn how to transit between one to the other. In the background, you see that we have rain and petals. Those are particles. So you will also learn how to make particle system. And the clouds in the back are animated. So you will learn parallax animation. As you saw earlier, you will do interactive UI, and you can even play with the sound. So if you click on New Game, there's a fade in, fade out animation between each scenes. You can see that the score is also implemented. And you will learn how to make a game session, which will save the score through your whole game. And inside every level, you will be able to go back to the game option and to play back your music. And at the end, we will be implementing the enemy. If the enemy touches you, you will lose a heart. And if you lose all your hearts, there's a game over scene. And you can always retry. But first, we need a game engine. This is the reason why we will use Unity. So what is Unity? Unity is a cross-platform game engine with a built-in integrated development environment by Unity Technologies. It is used to develop video games for web plugins, desktop platforms, consoles, and mobile devices. There's a lot of game engines out there, but the reason why we are using Unity is because it's like a huge toolbox for developers. It comes with almost everything that you need to build a game. Indie developers are just normal developers who wants to make a game with a low budget or just no budget at all can finally use the same tools as any big game companies out there. They have an amazing asset store where you can find thousands of assets and extensions from the community. Unity is also compatible with Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, PlayStation, Xbox, and many more. While coding, Unity has the ability to preview the game live. This allows you to have quick testing, prototyping, and balancing while the game is being built. And the best part of Unity is it is free until you make a lot of money. So are you ready? Let's get dirty. The very first step is to install Unity Hub. This application will help you download Unity, manage your projects, and update the software. Download Unity Hub here. And when it is done, at the top right, create an account. When Unity Hub is done downloading, this is the interface. So the first tab is Project. This is where you will manage your projects. If you have difficulties learning, the second tab will help you a lot. Unity has put together multiple resources for you to learn Unity. And the third tab is where everything starts. Here, click on Official Releases. I would recommend to always download the latest version of Unity that is not on beta. So download the first one, and then when it is done downloading, you would see on my machine, it should be here. Now that we have everything set up, we can create our first project. At the top here, click New. Those are the first settings for your game. So first, let's rename your project. For us, it's gonna be Seishin. The second one is the Unity version. For this one, we're gonna take the last version of it. And here, choose a location for your project. For the template, it's gonna be 2D. And organization name, this is basically your name. So create project. It's gonna take some time. So this is Unity interface. It might look pretty scary at first, but we will go through it together. At the top right over here, click this one for the layout and choose default. So that way, every single panel will be positioned like my screen right now, and it will be easier to explain. So Unity interface is separated into different panels. Those are the different panels. The first one would be the toolbar. The toolbar allows you to use tools such as the hand tool, move tool, rotate tool, scale tool, and more. But the most used one is those in the center. This is play, pause, and stop for your simulator. So when you want to preview your game live, you will need to press this play button here. And at your right, this is more settings. And I will get back into it later. The second panel would be the hierarchy panel, which is at the complete left. Here, this is where you have all the layout of your game object inside the scene. For designers, this is the same thing as your layers. The next panel would be the scene panel, which is the huge gray box in the center of your screen right now. It is basically your canvas. The next panel is similar to the scene. Here, next to the scene tab, we have the game. So just click on it and drag it just next to the scene. So the difference between your scene panel and your game panel is that your scene panel is a view from the developer. So you will be able to edit everything inside of this canvas. But the game panel is a view of the game from the camera's perspective. The next panel is the inspector panel at your right. So here. go to your hierarchy panel, click on the main camera, and you will see that in your inspector, we have a lot of options. Those are the properties of the game object that you are selecting. The next one is the one at the bottom. This is your project panel. This panel contains all the files of your project. And if you want an advice from me, always stay organized. If you click into this folder, you will see that we have the first scene, which is the sample scene. And in your hierarchy panel, this is the name of our scene right now, sample scene. So just click this one, and we're gonna call it level 1. And you see that the name here changed too. So the last panel is a panel next to your project. So the console. So for developers, this is not new. This window will tell you when you have errors or bugs. It will help you a lot for debugging. So now that we are done with the interface, let's import some assets. So here, we're gonna move our window a little bit. Click on your project panel. And to go back to your previous folder, just click here. So I prepared a assets folder for you. So just select everything with Command A and drag and drop inside your project. Now you can maximize Unity. So let's talk about previewing the game now. Go to the Kitsune folder. And you see that we have some images over here. So if you drag and drop the front inside the hierarchy panel, you will see that here in our scene and in our game, we have the fox appearing. So if you try to move the fox inside the game panel, it's not gonna work. What you need to do is to select the front here, to choose the move tool, and you will see that inside our scene panel, you will be able to move the fox around. So the last thing about previewing is the resolution. Here in your game panel, the second tab is free aspect. Just click on it. And at the bottom, I have 1080. But if you don't have it, you need to add it yourself. So click on the small plus, label it HD, fixed resolution, and put 1920 to 1080. And then add it. So you will have something like this. Click on it and you will see that the resolution of the screen has changed. So now let's talk about workflow. A workflow consists of multiple steps that helps you get your work done. When making a game, you kind of need to be really well organized, or else it's going to be a huge mess and you're going to be lost in your own work. So let me show you my workflow. So my first advice would be to take your time. So take a few hours to think about the theme, the concept, but you mainly want to focus on what kind of game you want to make. And when this is done, now it's time to design it. Just design it. You can use any design tool of your choice to make your own assets. For me, I used Sketch. So as you can see here in my Sketch file, I have the main menu in different colors, I have the settings, I have different screens, and different levels here. So when the design is done, this is when I pass to animation. In my opinion, sprite sheet animation is the easiest way of doing animation. But the problem is you will have between 8 to 10 frames per second. And because of that, the animation is not that smooth. So for those reasons, I like to use rigged animation, also known as skeletal animation. It is basically a technique that allows you to put bones inside your image and then you can move them around like this. And using a timeline animation, you can have something that will look like this. This technique gives you a 60 frame per second animation, so it is butter smooth. I use Spine, but you can find other tools that are actually free online. So the last step would be implementation and code. So now that you have your design and you have the animation, it's time to put it inside of Unity. So let's talk about implementation and code. Unfortunately, we won't touch coding for now, but we will download what we need for it. To edit the code, we need a code editor. You can use the one that you are the most comfortable with. I will use Visual Studio Code. It's currently the best code editor on the market because of its extensive list of features and extensions. The default code editor that Unity uses is Visual Studio Community, which resembles Visual Studio Code, but the logo is purple. To download Visual Studio Code, you need to go to this website and then click on Download. Here, and then just save it. When you are done downloading Visual Studio Code, go to Unity, and at the top in the toolbar, search for Unity, Preferences, go to the External Tools, and for the first option, search for the application and Visual Studio Code. Here. That way, Unity knows that when you will open a script inside of Unity, it will open the correct code editor. So now you can close Preferences. And to make sure that you have the right code editor, we will create a script. So click on Front, and in your inspector panel, click on Add Component and type Player, then New Script, create and add script. I will explain more in detail all those steps in the next video, but for now we will only open the code editor. Go to your project panel and then go back into your assets and you will see that we have a new script. So right click, go to create and make a new folder. We're gonna call this folder script. So just drag and drop the player script inside the script. So that way we have everything well organized. Go inside the script and double click on your script. So this is the first window of Visual Studio Code. Unfortunately, we won't touch code this section, but we still need to download a few things. The extensions in Visual Studio Code are really powerful and it will help you with your workflow. So I will give you a list of extensions that I use personally. At your left, go to the last icon. This one is for your extensions. So click on it, and now you have a search bar. The first extension would be C#. So type C and hashtag. Find the third one is C# by Microsoft. C# is a language used in Unity, so we need this extension. The second one is C# fix format. You will probably see it here. This extension will help you format your code. Really nice to have for beginners. It means that it will indent your code, remove the extra spaces and braces. So the next one is directly from Unity. So in the search bar, type Unity, and it will be the first one. So debugger for Unity. It will help you debug your Unity project. The next one is EPPZ here. This extension will help you with highlighting your code with different colors, so you know which one is a class and their type. And the last one will be Unity Code Snippet. It allows you to create game classes really easily and on the go. So here's a small demo. So go back to your player file here in the first one. Now search for your script and click on player. You see that I have a different color, and here I have some icons. To have those, just go to the settings here down below, search for the color theme, and you will see that you have the EPPZ now. Or you can choose any color theme of your choice. Repeat the same step, but for the file icon theme. And here you can choose between a few ones, but I will only use a visual code icon. So this is the end of the first video. I hope you guys enjoyed it and are excited to continue this journey with me. I'll see you on the next video.